Chase Hunter can't get a shot off. Shot clock is down to 5. Joseph Girard III, the former Syracuse Orange, playing as a fifth-year senior, transferred down to Clemson.
But he's got a lot of ability.
Yeah, Jim Larinaga just wants him to be a little bit more assertive because of all that ability. And there's Matthew Cleveland, the Florida State transfer. These are two good offensive teams, each of them averaging in excess of 82 points per game. And how about that move by P.J. Hall?
And when he puts the ball on the deck, he'll often spin the other way. Dribbles right and spins. Miami can get some steals there if they're alert to it.
George open in the corner, and he'll answer with a 3. Chase Hunter, senior point guard. His younger brother, Dylan, will back him up.
Wow.
And there's the deep range, and I do mean deep, for one of the most versatile and talented big men in the country.
Many shots this year because of Joe Girard transferring in from Syracuse. That was a deep 3 by P.J. Hall.
And we'll talk about it more as the game develops, but he's healthy this year, and that has just made a world of difference for Hall and the Tigers. Hunter the pull-up, and Clemson on top.
Protection right there in the gap, just reaches in as Nijel Pack comes around that screen. And then he's a really good shooter and a good offensive player. And Clemson does a really good job of gap protection. That's when you're a help defender. You get in that gap off of your man, but where you're guarding the ball.
Norchad Omier will answer with a 3 of his own.
Well, Miami is a spread floor 5 out.
R.J. Godfrey is checked in for Clemson, 6'8" sophomore. And there is Girard doing what he has done so many times, 4 years up in Syracuse, and now
he's one of those guys you call a no closeout guy. You should never have to close out to him because you're always on him.
Omier with the rebound and the putback. He is a beast on the glass.
He's one of those guys you call a no closeout guy. You should never have to close out to him because you're always on him.
Omier with the rebound and the putback. He is a beast on the glass.
Are among the better offensive rebounders in the country.
Hall misses this 3. Joseph the rebound. Omier running the court and lays it in. But he said he hit so well that the coaches, when he wasn't pitching, put him in the lineup at first base or in center field. Imagine a guy that size patrolling center field. And he had pro aspirations. Felt he could have done something baseball-wise, but it looks like he's chosen well.
Good duck in by P.J. Hall.
And he'll convert his second dunk of the night already. And Hall, who's averaging over 20 points per game of the season, off to a very good start tonight.
He just ducked right into the middle of the lane and moved Omier to the other side of the lane, cleared out all that space. That is hard to deal with.
Omier drives and finishes with the left hand.
Cut through. Cut through.
Dylan Hunter now into the game, taking the places of his big brother Chase. The floater will go for the sophomore to bring the Tigers back within 3. Christian Watson is checked in for Miami, 6'7" sophomore from Lanham, Maryland. Boy, terrific handle and a great feed, but then an even better defensive play.
He was trying to drop the hammer here. When he puts it right behind his head, Girard just took it right away. What a big-time play by Joe Girard.
They've got some good wins this year.
Really good wins. This is a tournament team.
Yep.
It was last year. They got jobbed, in my opinion.
Pack for 3.
Boy, Nijel Pack is playing at both ends of the floor. He's basically not a help defender. He's just staying with Girard.
Yeah, those two guys respect each other's shooting ability, both being great shooters themselves. No call as Godfrey lays it in. Miami 4 for 5 from 3-point range in the early going here tonight. Pack into the paint this time with a runner.
Well, you talk about a shot-making team. That's Miami. And Nijel Pack is one of those players that can go get his own.
Girard. And there's the deep range. And anybody who watched the Orange play over the last 4 years, very familiar with that.
Joe Girard is just going to stop and pop.
George tried to cradle it and lay it in, knocked out of bounds.
Joe Girard is just going to stop and pop.
George tried to cradle it and lay it in, knocked out of bounds. Omier fouled out of the game. They lost to Kentucky by 22. Lost to Colorado by 27. They have won every other game that they played this season. Joseph somehow keeps the dribble alive. They got the shot off, but George can't hit. But look at this cut. And body. Hall's got a height advantage on Omier, but Omier, and Hall is strong, but Omier's in a whole other league, it looks like, of strength. Armando Bacot of Carolina's first.
Well, Shefflin had 17 rebounds against Pittsburgh. Another logo 3 for P.J. Hall.
And there's the putback for Shefflin, doing what he does best. That voice you hear belongs to Brad Brownell, the Clemson coach, who's right in front of us. We are about as close to a coach as you'll ever be over by the Clemson bench. That voice you hear belongs to Brad Brownell, the Clemson coach, who's right in front of us. We are about as close to a coach as you'll ever be over by the Clemson bench. Wiggins the handoff to Girard. Now Shefflin will put up a 3. He's a guy who his freshman year didn't take many, didn't make many, but Brad Brownell told us he has worked awfully hard. And Shefflin's one of these guys, who dove for that loose ball? Who made that good pass? He just makes winning plays. Girard with a great feed to the cutting Chase Hunter for the lay-in and 1. What are the talking points? And he said ACC championship, Final Four. I mean, he blurted it out. George from the wing with his third 3 of the game already. Pack. George is hot tonight. The tip no, but Casey runs it down for the Hurricanes. Cleveland, yes.
This is an important period in this game if Clemson can get some separation here.
Godfrey with an impressive spin and finish for the Tigers.
Well, he's so strong inside.
Impressive spin and finish for the Tigers.
Well, he's so strong inside.
And the answer at the other end for Matthew Cleveland to get him back within 4. And now he is transferred down here to Coral Gables. Another one of the better transfer stories in the country. Shefflin, baseline, got it.
Well, as soon as Shefflin saw he had Keyshawn George on him, he wanted to take him down in the post.
And he can't get it back. Dylan Hunter won't let him. George hoists it up and hits his 4th 3 of the game.
With the shot clock winding down.
Hall looks inside for Godfrey. Nice swing to Wiggins, who hits the 3. Great offense by the Tigers.
And he's doing it on both ends. His shot blocking is an important factor for this Clemson defense.
He is the only guy in Division I as the 3 goes down for Matthew Cleveland. P.J. Hall couldn't corral the rebound. Boy, he had a gimme. And Omier getting down the floor in a hurry and laying it in. That's the second time tonight where Omier has beaten the Clemson defense down to the other end of the court.
And getting it up on the board quickly.
Gambled there, almost came up with it, and pays the price as Hall flushes it.
And we've seen that. That's about as good a shot as you can get.
But Cleveland comes up with it.
You don't think that was a lob pass?
Yeah. Now Pack from deep. And Miami starting the second half hot. They've gotten back within 2.
Helping off doesn't do any good. You got to stay with a 3-point shooter.
Girard, not just a 3-point shooter.
Miami doesn't have a ton of bodies. So the more you can run them, the better it is for you.
Chase Hunter with a strong drive and finish. Tough bounce pass in traffic. Omier saves it and will get an assist as Pack lays it in. Dylan Hunter lobs it in. Boy, a dangerous pass. It's stolen and Cleveland will flush it.
I think Jim Larrañaga likes the call now. Hall taking it to the rack. But after the turnover, Matthew Cleveland with the easy.
Girard over Pack. And laid back up and in by Shefflin.
But Chauncey Wiggins did not have inside position, but knocked it right to Shefflin.
Pack using the screen by Omier and burying the 3. It's coming your way Monday night, 7:30 Eastern. Pretty good fight song, though. You may not like the helmet, but you got to respect the fight song. Little weave up top for Miami, looking to retake the lead here from Clemson. Pack got it to go.
Is there a shot that Nijel Pack cannot make?
If you're drafting in a game of horse, I think Nijel Pack is the first pick in this gym tonight.
Girard's not far behind.
Yeah, that's true. Omier over Hall. Miami by 3. Looks like he took a shot to the side of the head, but he's okay. Turnaround, Matthew Cleveland, and it goes. If you're going out and trying to find a guy who could play that kind of a role, Matthew Cleveland's a pretty good fit, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the one. And Matthew Cleveland has terrific end-to-end speed. He can really run.
Hall gets into the paint, and it'll go. Little jump hook for the answer to the one that he saw from Omier at the other end.
And that's where Clemson can be much more difficult to guard if they can let him touch it more in the paint.
Pack, the pull-up. Yes, he's tough. Where does Clemson go for offense? They got a lot of good offensive players on the floor, but they have been struggling here in the second half. Hunter into traffic. Hunter into traffic, and it is deflected away. No call. Joseph in transition. What a burst of speed.
And what a turnaround. And right now, Clemson really needs to get something positive going.
And a tough one for P.J. Hall to quiet the crowd.
And I think that's where success lies for Clemson.
George off a screen. Joseph, bounce pass to Omier. Does a great job covering a smaller guard too. He's really a wing, but he can cover a lot of different spots. And there's a huge and much needed basket for Clemson, courtesy of Chauncey Wiggins. Turnaround by Cleveland will go.
Boy, that's just a great individual play, and that's not an easy shot to make. But he can spin, pivot on drives. He's got that deep range, and there he is again.
Right on cue, as they say, knocking down the elbow jumper at K-State. And here he's made 263 threes in those 4 years. And guarding a guy who's just as good shooting the three and can also put it on the deck in Joe Girard. Kicks it back out to George, 7 to shoot. George stripped by Hunter. Chase Hunter trying to go the distance, and he lays it in.
Some of Clemson's offensive difficulties in the second half have affected their defense, and this is where they need to go.
P.J. Hall with good deep position to get him back within 4.
And this 2-3 zone is making Miami a little bit more of a stationary offensive team.
Cleveland from 18 knocks it down. Hunter couldn't handle the pass. Joseph the steal and the lay-in.
And the foul.
And the foul.
Goes right through his fingers. And Bensley Joseph, who's a left-hander, goes right to that left hand. Got taken out by Wiggins, but still completed the play. You can see him just catching Wiggins out of the corner of his eye. And bodies all over the place underneath with Hall and Omier.
Boy, George can really speed up the court, can he? And he gets the assist on the 3 by Cleveland. Largest lead of the night for the Hurricanes. Girard, yes.
Well, you come off him just a bit.
And Omier's going to go to work on Shefflin. Got him in the air, switched hands, and laid it in. That was beautiful. Clemson needs scores, and they need them quick.
And they need stops.
Wiggins will oblige with a 3 from the wing to get it down to 9. Joseph inside, reverses and lays it in. What a second half he's had.
How do you stay in front of these guys? Yeah, and Bensley Joseph has had a great second half, and he's done it at both ends of the floor, equally as impactful on the defensive end as the offensive end.
Chase Hunter, 87-79. Timeout Brad Brownell with 1:05 to go.
Tain is number one thing on his bucket list.
Hang on. It wasn't finishing on an alley-oop. That's not number. Well, he's in the right place to try.
You
that's
would
for
think
sure.
so.
Yep. Girard open for a 3.
Boy, this is a really big win for Miami. Without Wooga Poplar against an excellent Clemson.